Yesterday's blowout loss to the Pistons highlights just how down bad the Toronto Raptors are. So in this video, we look at the possibility of bringing back a former, very likable player in Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. Should the Raptors do it? Let's get into it. Welcome Raptors fans to Amateur Hour Sports. This is the channel where you get NBA content with a focus on the Toronto Raptors. We do a ton of videos, we do a ton of live streams as well. We do live stream watch songs like the one we did, unfortunately, last night for the game against the Pistons, like the one we're doing tomorrow, and we also do a ton of other streams as well, like the Amateurs Argue live segment that we're doing on Thursday, where you guys call in and argue with me live, and the 2K stream, the Raptor Rebuild 2K stream, which we're doing on Sunday. So if you like what you see from today's video, you want more of myself talking about the Raptors and content just like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Show support to the channel. We're very close to 2.4K on our road to 3,000. But today's video, we are talking about Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, a fan favorite from last season who is still a free agent currently this season. I think that in the offseason here, the Raptors, I was kind of surprised that they actually didn't bring back Rondae Hollis-Jefferson because, again, fan favorite from last season. Also, I really liked what he brought on the court. His energy, his will to get rebounds despite being undersized, played well above his size, and on some occasions had to start in the center position for the Raptors. And the Raptors didn't bring him back. It seemed like DeAndre Bembry was the guy they brought in instead of having Rondae Hollis-Jefferson on their team, which, kind of makes sense. Bembry has a bit better of a skill set, but Rondae Hollis-Jefferson has something that really embodies what the Raptors have been over the last decade or so. Maybe not the most talented group of players, but the team that works the hardest and shows the most effort on the court. That's what Rondae Hollis-Jefferson completely embodies. He's only 26 years old right now, still a decently young player, and nobody has signed him. The Raptors at the trade deadline opened up 2 roster spots for what seemed like was going to be a Kyle Lowry trade, but nothing came of that. So 2 roster spots are wide open for a guy like Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, who again brings in the effort. What the Raptors have been lacking over this just completely dismal stretch of losses is effort, and I think that was the most telling piece in the game last night against the Detroit Pistons, because the Raptors seriously showed a definitive lack of effort to close out on 3 and just to play any sort of defense whatsoever. The transition defense, it's difficult to even comment on the transition defense because there wasn't any. The Raptors had absolutely no transition defense, and even when they were set on defense, they weren't going out to contest threes. We made Saddiq Bey look like prime Steph Curry, and everything that the Pistons wanted inside the paint, we just let them have it. There was nobody stopping any of their interior game. Hamidou Diallo completely torched us on the interior. Corey Joseph went off. We made him look fantastic, the former Raptor. It was an utterly embarrassing game for the Raptors. The Pistons have lost now 8 of their last 12 games, meaning they've only won 4 of their last 12 games. 3 out of those 4 wins in the last 12 have come against the Toronto Raptors, and the other one against the Houston Rockets, who the Raptors also lost to. So the Pistons are awful. They're crap. Pistons are terrible, yet they've beaten us 3 times in the last 3 times we played against them. That is a season sweep over the Raptors for the Detroit Pistons. Now, again, people maybe like this. It's just 1 game closer to Cade Cunningham, people say. But again, the Raptors at the deadline definitely did not commit to a tank. The thing is, we are not trying to be bad. That's why this is what is most frustrating about this situation. The Raptors did not commit to a tank. If they committed to a tank and just said, okay, yeah, we're going to be bad, we're going to need a draft pick, whatever. But the fact that we're trying to be good and we're trying to actively win these games with a talented group of players, again, Siakam, an all-star starter last year, second-team All-NBA last year. Kyle Lowry, who had been up until this season all-star 6 years in a row. Fred VanVleet, we said got snubbed for an all-star appearance and his possibility of making an all-defense team this year. OG Anunoby, potential to make an all-defense team, the most versatile defender in the NBA. Gary Trent comes in, a promising young player who shoots 40% from 3. There is a lot of talent on this Toronto Raptors team, but the effort, when hard work beats talent, when talent refuses to work hard, and that is exactly what's kind of happening here. The Raptors are showing no effort. There's no desire. There's no energy. Everything's so flat. Yesterday's game was just so awful to watch, not just because they played poorly, but because there was absolutely no energy. There was nothing to root for with the Raptors game. And I think bringing in a player like Rondae Hollis-Jefferson can kind of change that narrative, maybe spice things up. I don't know. Maybe he changes something up because something needs to give with this Raptors team because stuff is not working at this present moment. They got absolutely dismantled by the Pistons, who are the second worst team in the NBA by record. And if it wasn't for their 3 wins against us in the last 12 games, they would have the worst record in the NBA. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson last season played a lot at the power forward, mostly as a power forward where he could grab a ton of rebounds. Sure, his stats aren't very telling. Only played 18 minutes a game, averaged 7 points, 4.7 rebounds per game, but his per 36 stats are the stuff that is really catching my eye, because 13 points per game, that's good, per 36, that's fine. Then 9.1 rebounds per game in his per 36 last year with the Raptors is something I think we could definitely use, because again, the Pistons out-rebounded us like crazy yesterday, and the entire fourth quarter was garbage time, which maybe could have skewed the stats, but the Pistons dominated us on the glass, and we've been dominated on the glass over the last few games. This is a big problem for the Raptors. Again, Masai Ujiri, why didn't you acquire a center for us at the deadline? If you didn't commit to a tank, why are you making us suffer through this era without a proper center on the court? It's confusing to me, and also, why are we not being active in the buyout market? But if you want to go after a guy who can get rebounds, who can provide energy, just provide that spark off the bench, I think that Rondae Hollis-Jefferson is a man who would help out this Raptors team to a very considerable degree. Even just to have this guy in the locker room on the bench. He wants to play basketball. He misses Toronto. You see it on his social media posts. It's actually kind of sad. He really wants to be back with the Raptors. He really wants to be in the NBA. That's not a reason to sign a player, but I truthfully feel like this is a player who could help this Raptors team on the court. No, he wouldn't get a ton of minutes. No, he wouldn't change a lot for this Raptors team, but I think he would help this team out. I think he would make a difference, and that is enough for me to want to bring him in. Again, I know a lot of people are out there. This is a former fan favorite from last season that we decided not to bring back this season. Sure, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, he doesn't have a very good shot, but he has decent finishing on the interior, and he rebounds, and he plays defense, and he is a junkyard dog. He just works hard. He gets gritty. He goes in the areas people don't want to get into to make a play, and I think that is seriously what this Raptors team is lacking. Now, a lot of people, again, are looking at these losses like, okay, we want to tank anyway, so why not just enjoy the losses, see what we get in the offseason. Now, that's fine, but again, this is not a team that's supposed to be tanking. The Oklahoma City Thunder are trying to be bad and trying to tank, and they either have an equal or worse record than us, and that's who we're playing on Wednesday. So the Oklahoma City Thunder are trying to be bad and have a better record than the Raptors, who are not trying to tank and are actually trying to make a playoff push. The Raptors are now sitting at 18-29, despite at one point being 17-17 before the health and safety protocols, all that whole situation really derailed this team from having any sort of success. But again, there is plenty of talent on this team. There is a lot of talented players who are not playing up to their standard on defense. It is very infuriating to watch. I don't know what's got to give. People are calling out Nick Nurse. I don't agree at all. I don't think this is on Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse isn't really given the tools here to be successful with, but the players out there on the court got to show some effort. I know we're playing every game away from home. I understand that. I know we've gone through the adversity this season. I understand that, but nothing prohibits a player from showing effort on the court. Nothing prohibits a player from showing desire on the court. No matter how outmatched in talent you are, which they aren't, no matter how outmatched in talent, you can always show the effort. And I always say in the streams, I don't care if you lose and you go down fighting, go down playing hard, like against the Utah Jazz, like against the Suns. Whatever positive to take away from those losses. But when you go out against the Pistons, like 3 games in a row without any sort of effort whatsoever, that is completely unforgivable. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson is a guy I think who will come in and make some changes to this Raptors team and help just a little bit. Help better this team just a little bit. Provide that extra spark off the bench. Maybe he rallies a few people with that. I think he's talented enough to be in the NBA. Again, only 26 years old. Probably not even in the prime of his basketballing career. This is a player that Masai Ujiri, Bobby Webster should 100% be looking at to bring in. I think they should do it. Let me know what you guys think about this current Raptors team. Do you think bringing in Rondae Hollis-Jefferson would be a good decision for the franchise? Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. But that wraps it up for me for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you are still here, please like the video if you like, and subscribe to Amateur Hour Sports for more content just like this. Help us reach some new viewers and very close to 2.4K. Help us hit that 2.4K mark by subscribing and on our road to 3,000 subs. Again, lots of streams this week, lots of streams over the next week. We got watch-alongs, we got the call in to argue with me about basketball, we got the 2K streams, lots of great stuff going on. Also, we're switching to Twitch April 6th, so follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/amateursports. Go check out all the links in the description. We got a Discord, we got merch, check out all that great stuff. At the end of the day, believe what I say. If you disagree, that is okay. We'll see you again next time for another video.